Hey everyone, this is Badass Viewer and I'm back with another review. This time I'm taking a look at the Star Wars Black Series Luke Skywalker. This is from the Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, when he goes to Bespin and Dagobah system. And I was really excited about this Luke because it was actually a uniform that I was familiar with. Everyone's familiar with it. And the other one that came out, I was not really wanting to get because there's no reason for me to have an X-Wing suit Luke Skywalker. Mostly because I think they're coming out with 6-inch versions of the TIE Fighters, but I'm not going to pick that up, so I'm not really worried about it. And I wanted a Luke Skywalker that was more like universal, that he could wear, or more like something that he wears more often than the X-Wing suit. And they're going to be coming out with the Return of the Jedi version, which I will also be picking up because I like that version as well. So yeah, really nice figure. I didn't think I was going to like him for a little bit because of how he looked and stuff. And there is some downsides to him, but I still like this figure quite a bit just because it's probably my favorite character, one of the favorite characters, and this figure came out really nice, and it's probably the best Luke Skywalker figure that there is, since there's only two though, but this is probably the best one so far, just because of the outfit, because I really like Empire Strikes Back also. So here we have Luke here, obviously. I think it's the face sculpt that I wasn't really sure I was going to like a whole lot. I saw some pictures of it, and then I saw some reviews, and they looked kind of crappy. And it's still not the best looking face sculpt. I feel like his head's really like kind of squished together, and he looks kind of old for some reason. But it does kind of look like Mark Hamill. And the other problem that I kind of have with it is that his hair doesn't really have any color shading to it, so it kind of just has like this really like clay looking color to it. It kind of almost matches the rest of his outfit, but it doesn't have shading. So there's that. But it's decently sculpted, but definitely the head sculpt's not my favorite part of this guy, but he does have a resemblance to Mark Hamill. They just could have done a little bit better job, but at least his eyes are painted nicely. They're not all derpy looking and stuff. Come down to his lower torso here. Let's start at the neck. He's got a collar here, which is sculpted on, and then you come down. He's got these chest pockets here, which are also sculpted on. Really nice shading going throughout his outfit, so that makes it look pretty nice. And it's kind of like this. Like I said, it kind of looks like clay in a way, or like some kind of putty that you would use for something, but that's just my opinion. I don't know what color you would want to say it, but it does look good though with the shading going on, so I like that. Very accurate to how he looks in the movie. On the sides here, there's some sculpting on his shoulder parts here. Not too much else going on. They sculpted it to make it look like like he's actually wearing a suit, and it's not like sculpted to his arm or something. So that's nice. It looks like it's all rippled and stuff. Nice detailing and stuff on there. The belt here cannot be removed, and it looks pretty nice. It kind of resembles Han's in a way, but it's a little bit different. Han's kind of goes down a little bit more, but this is still a pretty nice belt. And there's some stuff that you can do with it here in a bit, and I'll show you. He comes with his gun, which can go in this holster here. Pretty much the same exact gun that he came with in the first series with his, the X-Wing suit. And he holds it in this hand here. And you can just slide that down. I think it gets a little bit warped from being in that holster, but you can get him to hold it. And he holds it pretty straight. Some people were complaining that his hand didn't hold the gun right, so it was kind of like pointing down weird or something, or pointing up too far. I think they were saying that his hinge here was getting stuck on the sleeve of his coat, so it was kind of restricting how he held it, so he kind of held it funky like that, but I don't have a problem with that at all, so he holds it pretty straight, so that's nice. Detailing on the gun, not a whole lot. It's pretty much just black with the gray tip and the brown hilt, or not hilt, but the handle for the gun, and you just slide that back in and he can hold on to it for when he's not using it. And it's kind of tricky to get in there. You gotta get it in there just right where it lines up with everything, and you can put the little thing back on it. And then what else his belt has is a little hook here, which you can take his lightsaber, which has a little hole, and you can also remove this, so that way if you don't want him to have the lightsaber on, you can. And the lightsaber itself is pretty nicely detailed. It's got some sculpting on it, got a little red button and stuff to turn it on and whatnot. But you can take it and you can stick it on this little loop here, or you can stick the hook on the loop. So if you want him to just hold it, you can. Although it kind of looks weird because it hits right up on his thigh. So what I think would be the best thing to do is just kind of bend his, or tilt his belt a little bit to the side like this, so it's like this, or so it's sitting like this, but the belt itself isn't going to be lined up, so that kind of sucks. And then his gun's kind of like on the top part of his thigh. But if you mess with it a little bit, I'm sure you'll figure something out. And it's actually kind of weird because on him, he has a little hook to hold on to his lightsaber, but the new Obi-Wan Kenobi has a little peg that goes into the hole right here. So I don't know why they didn't just do that for everyone. Not really sure why they didn't, but either way, it still holds on pretty nicely, so there's that. Come down to his legs, there's some sculpting here, more line work and stuff like that to make it look like he's actually wearing pants. Come down to his boots are nicely sculpted. He's got these weird looking loafer things, which are kind of old fashioned, I guess. I don't know if people actually wore shoes like that in the 80s, but I'm sure they didn't. So that looks really nice, and I like the color of the painting too. So overall, painting and detail wise, it's a really good looking. Like I said, the only part I don't really like too much is the head, but I think it's just because of the hair. And really, if it had been a little bit more blonde and shaded in there, I think it would be fine. But on camera it looks pretty blonde, but in person shading's a little pretty minimal, so it kind of sucks. But anyways, so let's go over articulation. He's got a ball head swivel, which you can pop off if you wanted to swap heads with people for whatever reason. So he can look up pretty good, down looks left and right. His arms go out and in, rotate 360 degrees. No bicep swivel, but he does have a 90-degree elbow joint, which goes up. And then he has the elbow pivot, which most of all these figures seem to have. He's got, ooh, it looks like it's kind of ripping up some of the plastic. Alright, well, be careful with that, because it seems like the plastic's kind of getting ripped out. I think it should be fine. It's just kind of pulling up the plastic a little bit, but oh well. Anyways, he's got a wrist hinge, which goes outward like this and goes up, and he has a rotation in the wrist. It's the same thing on this hand. This one has the same kind of like downward position instead of the in and out. So both of his hands do that, which is kind of weird because some of them have like this hand and then this hand, but this guy has both like this, so it's kind of weird that they chose that. He's got a diaphragm joint, which gets a pretty good amount of motion, and it serves the purpose really well, and it's really good at hiding it so you can't really tell that it's there. And he can rotate that way. His legs can go forward and back, in and out, rotates at the upper part of the thigh. 2 points at the knee, no rotation in the boot. He's got a pivot in the foot, as well as an ankle rocker, and he's got peg holes at the bottom of his feet. So overall, really awesome figure. I'm glad to have picked him up. I am enjoying this wave very much so far. Can't wait to get you know, the Anakin Skywalker, Chewbacca, Darth Vader, just all the really crucial looking, oh, not looking, but crucial figures to the movie. And maybe at some point we'll even get some, you know, comic characters and stuff like that. But here's a quick size comparison next to Obi-Wan. And then here he is next to Han Solo. So he's pretty short. Probably the shortest next to Leia, which I don't have. And then here he is next to, what's his name, R2-D2. So I think it's pretty good. Luke is kind of short, but I don't think he's like super duper short. But this figure is pretty short for him, and it's not up to scale, I don't think, so it's kind of weird. But anyways, it's still a good figure. But if you guys are looking to get this guy and can't get him at retail, I would suggest you go to Entertainment Earth and pick up the entire wave, because you get free shipping. Well, if you get free shipping on orders over $99 or $70 or something like that. But I'll leave a link down below, because I think that's the cheapest way to pick them up if you're wanting to get the whole wave. So I'll leave a link down below. You guys can go check it out. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you guys will rate, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys